Mississippi State and Arizona State get set to do battle in a non-conference matchup. We are here previewing, predicting, and breaking down this game between the Bulldogs and the Sun Devils. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips. He's Cole the Bear Thompson. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, check us out via podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. And as always, we are powered by our friends over at FANDUEL. Visit FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today and get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, that's FANDUEL.com/SECU to get $250 in bonus bets today. It's a Saturday night in the SEC down in Starkville as Mississippi State and Arizona State get set to do battle in a non-conference showdown. We are here previewing, predicting, and breaking down this game as the Bulldogs and Sun Devils prepare to do battle. Once again, guys, as always, I am Chris Phillips. Joining me, as he always does, my partner in crime, one of the best in the business, Cole the Bear Thompson. Bear, what's going on, man? I appreciate you taking the time. Really excited to break down this matchup with you.
If you would have told me 3 weeks ago that a top 10 Arizona State team could be facing a little bit of pressure against a revamped Mississippi State squad, I would have called you crazy. I would have gone over to FanDuel.com/SECU, laid down that money, gone and proven that I am believing that the Sun Devils are going to do business against the Bulldogs. And then I would have been slightly underwhelmed because of the way that we watched Southern Miss play, the way we watched Mississippi State play, the way we watched Northern Arizona versus Arizona State play. I got my questions out in the valley. I got a couple of answers that are very much in the promising direction for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. A potential top 10 upset down in Starkville on a Saturday night to begin week 2. Doesn't get much better than that, Chris Phillips. I can tell you that much.
Bear, no doubt, potentially Jeff Lebby's first signature win in Starkville, Mississippi. It's going to be a fun one. Saturday, September the 6th, 6:30 Central Time kickoff on ESPN2, Bear, a place that you have referred to most notably as a cathedral of chaos is where the game will take place down in Starkville at Davis Wade Stadium. You know the cowbells will be ringing loud and proud all night long. Bear, Mississippi State, a 6.5-point underdog in this game. The over-under set at 50.5. These teams have met one time all time. Arizona State leading that series 1-0. And, of course, it was last year when Mississippi State went out to Arizona State. Arizona State won that game 30-23. That was before we really knew, Bear, what Arizona State was. I don't think we had college football playoff expectations for them. There were a lot of folks out there that picked Hail State to win the game. Obviously, again, Arizona State winning, and it really sparked what was a really special season for them. As we take a look at the Sun Devils, Bear, and I want to get your thoughts on ASU. Their head coach, of course, Kenny Dillingham, one of the most fun, entertaining, and one of the best coaches, I think, in all of college football at this point. They went 11-3 a season ago, 7-2 in conference play. Obviously took on Texas in the college football playoff, lost that game, but gave the Horns a really good fight. They're 1-0, like you mentioned on the season. Beat Northern Arizona 38-19. Kind of an interesting score in their first game. Key contributors for the Sun Devils, Bear, obviously it starts at quarterback with Sam Levitt, one of the best in the country. Wide receiver Jordan Tyson, running back Kyson Brown, some key contributors on the offensive side. And Bear, these three guys on defense I'm going to mention, they were all conference players a season ago. Defensive tackle CJ Fight, linebacker Keyshawn Elliott, and safety Xavion Alford. So certainly they bring back some talent from that team that did so much a season ago. I believe it's 9 starters that returned on the defensive side. Bear, when you take a look at Arizona State, you mentioned the first game and how it gives you some concern for them, if you will, because again, 38-19 against a Northern Arizona squad, a little bit maybe disheartening, but how do you size up Arizona State as a whole coming into this football game?
Well, Arizona State has the second most returning production in college football, only behind Clemson. There's a lot of continuity. And you already mentioned this defensively, 9 returning starters from a season ago. That's going to be one of the key elements on if the Devils can actually repeat as Big 12 champions. The running back room, you do lose Cam Scatterboot. We all knew that. But I do really like, and I think that he will be a good replacement in Kyson Brown. They also brought in Kanye Udo from Army. That was one of the better running backs in the transfer portals. Night and day different culture feel from what you saw in West Point, New York, all the way down in Tempe, Arizona. But you know what? Sometimes that new tempo gets you a little bit of juice. What worries me, and I think I was very underwhelmed with, You lose Xavier Guillory. That was one of the key elements of the players that didn't return from the 2024 Big 12 champion team. It doesn't feel like right now they have a secondary receiver. Now that could change immediately. You do have one of your best returning tight ends back in Shimon Mateer. He had one catch for 20 yards. You do have a lot of young talent in the room, but it does feel like, and we saw it on Saturday against the Lumberjacks, if it's not Jordan Tyson, it's really nobody. And I think that that's a concern that you have right now. Sam Levitt had to be not only the passing attack, he had to be the rushing attack too. Finished with 2 touchdowns that led the team in rushing yards. And yes, you were able to get a lot of pressure on the Lumberjacks. You forced a couple of big-time incompletions. You got a turnover over over Latham Boone. So there's some things to like about Arizona State for sure. And maybe this is just me looking at it from I expected sheer violence. I expected what we saw between UCLA and Utah to be even worse down in the valley. Maybe it's just a one-hit wonder. Maybe it's a blip. It could end up being that. But there was a sense after Kenny Dillingham walked out the field that he was beyond disappointed with how they debuted. And that is something to where if you can't fake that and you start showing your emotions, there may be a problem that just allows a team playing with confidence to kind of trend upward. I still like Arizona State. I didn't pick them to win the Big 12. I do think that they will be at least a 9-win team this year. But this was a game that I had circled and said to myself, I think that they're going to win if Mississippi State looks night and day different defensively, and if they get that secondary spark offensively, this could be a battle. They have that offensive spark. If that's the version we saw on Saturday down in Starkville, this is going to be a battle. Still like Arizona State, still like their defense, still think they're going to be one of the better teams in the Big 12. But it was far underwhelming, and I have now more questions than answers on certain spots that I really want to see.
And Bears, we dive into this matchup, and we dive into this game. Certainly, Jeff Lebby, I think an opportunity for him, man. What a start of the season it'd be if you can go 2-0, pull an upset over a top 10 team, get that signature win, and a season coming in where we had so many question marks. But you nailed it, Bear. The defense. I know, again, you go out week 1, you get the win over Southern Miss, double-digit point win. It was a big win, obviously, there locally in the state of Mississippi. Beating Southern Miss is a big deal. But I guess my question, Bear, is can I trust that defense on a stage like this against a team like Arizona State? And I don't know if I can get all the way there. You brought Coleman Hutzler back from a season ago, which I thought was a questionable move to say the least. But I am encouraged by some things we saw on the offensive side. I really like Blake Shapen as a player. I do. I know you're going to talk about Seydou Traore at tight end. Really, really solid player at the tight end position. Obviously, the running back duo that is Devon Booth, Fluff Bothwell. I think you and I have talked that could potentially be, if not the best, one of the best 1-2 punches in the SEC at the running back position. How do they fare against a veteran Arizona State defense? Bear, I think Mississippi State's going to have to score. I don't fully trust their defense to go out there and win a 20-17 game or something like that. I think Sam Levitt, that Arizona State offense, I know you don't have Cam Scadaboo anymore. I know there's questions around that, but I think they're going to get theirs. And I just, again, don't really trust Mississippi State to go out there and win some low-scoring affair. The good news is this. I think there were things in week 1, Bear, that were encouraging that lead me to believe, especially with that running game and with that two-headed monster in the backfield, that I think you may be able to go out there and put up some points. I think you're going to have to probably win a higher scoring game here. But for me, the biggest question for Mississippi State, it's on the defensive side. And maybe they have taken that next step. Maybe they've taken a giant leap from last year, and they're going to go out and put together some incredible performance or be really stout, be really stingy. I kind of just feel like, Bear, I need to see it. I don't fully trust them on defense quite yet.
We'll talk about the things that I'm looking for specifically on the defensive side going into this game. But you mentioned the offense. This is a night and day difference from a season ago. And I think largely it starts with Blake Shapen. Shapen is a quarterback that fits Jeff Lebby's veer and shoot offense, the vertical passing attack downfield. And we saw it. Seydou Traore lined up in the slot position, got that big time 58-yard touchdown. Right in motion, got to have moment. It was an easy play for him. Everything looks schematical. Brennan Thompson comes on in from Oklahoma. That was a guy that was recruited after he entered the transfer portal from Texas by Jeff Lebby to go to the Sooners. He is somebody that understands the style of offense that you want to run. But to me, the big thing is the addition of Fluff Bothwell. Bothwell is not an RB2. Like, can we make this abundantly clear? The beauty about what this offense is going to be in Starkville this year is you have Davin Booth and you have Fluff Bothwell. They each provide something that the other one is missing, and that is great for cohesion and counteractiveness. If there's a game you need the speed to the outside, you can go with Davin Booth. If there is a game that you need that physicality, that extra second chance opportunities, not going down at initial contact, that is Fluff Bothwell. And both impress. Bothwell finished with, I think a little bit more overall when it comes to the rushing attack, and he had 2 touchdowns, but Davin Booth averaged more yards. Davin Booth finished with more rushing yards. He had more carries, but it was a balanced unit. And the offensive line, credit, still had its faults at times, but for the most part, did a good job of protecting Blake Shapen. They gave up only 1 sack. They gave up 4 tackles for losses, but 1 sack against a team that was fresh off of playing in the Sun Belt Conference. Because again, Southern Miss, it was masquerading as Marshall of 2024. That's what they were doing. And it was a good Marshall team. The fact that you were able to keep your quarterback upright, the fact that you were able to get the ground game moving, the fact that you had to see the adjustments from Southern Miss to play near the line of scrimmage that allowed you to get those shots downfield to Trey Orr, to Brennan Thompson, to Jordan Mosley, to Anthony Evans, another speed element that just is a good fit for the style of offense. This is the offense that when Zach Selman hired Jeff Lebby, what we expected to see. It's going to have to put up points. I 100% agree with you, because of as much as we can talk about Coleman Hutzler's defense looking better, because it did, they still allowed over 300 total yards of offense against a Southern Miss team. This is an offense at Arizona State that can get over 400 yards, and they could do it by the time that we enter the fourth quarter. They really can.
I'm excited to watch Blake Shapen work in the passing game, Bear. But you mentioned some of the weapons he's got on the outside. Again, I think Blake Shapen's a very underrated quarterback in this league. We forget what he did at Baylor, being a conference player of the year over there. And obviously the injury last year, he didn't really get an opportunity to show what he could do. He's back full swing. Like you said, how does Mississippi State counteract Sam Leavitt? I'm pumped to watch Sam Leavitt also, right? Like a baller, a playmaker. He's someone that can flip a game on its head at any point. Also, too, what I'm excited for, Bear, off the field, I want to go back to the comment you made. Most notably, it was documented in the Netflix documentary, The Cathedral of Chaos, Starkville. This is your opportunity to show out, man. Like, I feel like it's been a while, and maybe I'm just forgetting a very obvious game, but I feel like it's been a while, Bear, since we had, like, primetime Saturday night football in Starkville. The cowbells are going to be going. Like, this is Mississippi State's opportunity, man. Like, this is their chance. We all know how the schedule sets up. Like, you win this game, you're probably 4-0 going into SEC play. And at that point already, you have set yourself up to have a really successful season, year 2 of Jeff Lebby. It starts in this one, the statement you can make if you pull off a top 10 upset win. And I think the crowd going to be a big difference maker in this one. I think it needs to be. I absolutely think it needs to be. You need to do everything you can to help out your defense. Cowbells ringing. I cannot wait selfishly, Bear, to see what that atmosphere looks like on Saturday night. I feel confident in saying Mississippi State fans are going to bring it. Like, I think they're going to bring it. This is a very loud and proud fan base, and they're looking for really any reason to get behind Jeff Lebby and this football team and have hope and have belief and have faith that things will change dramatically from a season ago. Starts on Saturday night. I think the fan base is going to show up and show out and do their part.
There is not an atmosphere built like the one that we see down in Starkville, Mississippi on Saturday nights. There isn't. And I can tell you from being in the press box, I can tell you from being on the sidelines, the ringing of the cowbells, the hostility, the way that it echoes into the southeastern sky, it's built different. It's something that is unique. It forces teams to have to go into silent counts. It forces teams to have to call timeouts at ill-advised times. It forces opponents to make mistakes critical that are lean in favor of Mississippi State, and that could happen. But now this is where I had to go lead you to bring up the part of where I still have my doubts when it comes to Mississippi State. Mississippi State on Saturday had 16 penalties. They had 14 penalties, my apologies. 14 penalties for 119 yards. Mississippi State allowed 10 of 19 third down conversions to Southern Miss. There's a Southern Miss team that is good, and I think that they will make plays in the Sun Belt this year. Arizona State can be as good as that, if not better. You have got to be more disciplined. So every single time that we talk about the way that the animosity, the way the hostility, the way that the atmosphere is going to hinder the success of Arizona State, you also cannot afford to make those mistakes. You can't. You have to work on silent count. You have to make those adjustments. You have to have a game plan that's going to work in favor of you, allowing yourself to be able to play to the atmosphere that's behind you. Because the last thing you want to do is it be a 3rd and 1, got to have moment, and your left tackle has a false start because if he didn't hear the count. Or you are 3rd and 6, and you know it's a passing play, and your defense jumps off sides. Therefore, now it's 3rd and 1, and they can do whatever they want on that play. Those are things. The undisciplinedness of times at Mississippi State in Saturday's game is something that worries me when it comes to, as that atmosphere is going to hurt what we know for Arizona State, is it also going to hurt you? Are you going to be good enough? Are you going to be prepared enough to have those opportunities where you will not find yourself making those type of self-inflicted wounds at ill-advised moments that only hurt your success and rather help it?
Bear, it's going to be a fun one Saturday night in Starkville. And like we mentioned, can't stress it enough, what a massive opportunity for Jeff Lebby and the Dogs to go out, get a top 10 win on the home field. That being said, Bear, let's lock in some predictions. Let's lock in some picks for this game. My friend, would you like the honors or would you like me to go first?
I'll go first. Right. Mississippi State's going to be better than 2-10. I can just automatically assume that because if they got a win, and they got a convincing win. They found a way to respond after being tied 10-10 with Southern Miss, and then they went off to the races. Final score really should have been 34-10. They allowed a late touchdown, but regardless, they're going to be better than a 2-10 team. The offense is taking the right direction and approach that you want to see underneath Jeff Lebby. Fluff Bothwell is going to win you a football game. I think that you will see Blake Shapen win you a football game. I think the offensive line is miles ahead of what I expected going into this matchup. And I do think that the atmosphere of that night, of those fans, cascading in the maroon and white, are going to create opportunities for this Bulldog team to stick around. I just don't trust the defense. I just don't trust the play calling, and I just don't trust undisciplinedness. Something that has been a problem for Alabama football underneath Kalen DeBoer. In every single game, they have had more penalties. In almost every single game, Mississippi State has had more penalties than its opponent. Undisciplined teams against rosters that, even though it's a lot of new and a lot of uncertainty, is going to end up hurting you. And I think that this is going to be close in the first half. I think this is going to be a battle going into the fourth quarter. Currently, if I'm not mistaken, Chris, the line is set at 4.5. I mean, at 6.5.
6.5.
I think that if you were to take one of the early plays, first quarter, second quarter plays, I would take Mississippi State with the points. I think they keep this thing close. I just think in the fourth quarter, that's where they turn it on. I think this is where the Devils show why they are a team that is viewed to be a threat to go back to the college football playoff, whether as a wild card, at large bid, or as a division winner, conference winner. Any one of those things could happen. I think that you're going to watch Jordan Tyson have a day. I think that you're going to watch Sam Levitt show you why he is a top 10 quarterback in college football. And I think that this defense is going to put pressure on Blake Shapen in the fourth quarter, late in a gotta-have moment, and it's just going to lead to a turnover. I got Arizona State winning. I think that they're also going to cover. I'm going to take this as a touchdown game. I'm going to go 31-24 final score. This is a good battle. It's a good litmus test to see the direction of where Mississippi State is headed. It's just not there. The undisciplinedness, I got to see it consistently change. And I got to see Holman Hutzler make some adjustments. Ones that are going to be sustainable against quality competition, not just Southern Miss. 31-24 final score. Congratulations to the Sun Devils. You're going to win. You get a convincing one on the road. Mississippi State, you also win a couple of people over, and people get to be a little bit more excited about the direction you're going in this upcoming season.
Bear, I'll tell you this. I would love the line if I could buy, and I could, obviously, buy Mississippi State up to +7. If you give me the touchdown, I think the hook's a little concerning. But, yeah, you look at this game. I mean, listen, I'll get straight to it. And you and I have agreed on this and kind of mentioned, like, I think the defense is going to be better because you can't be as bad or, God forbid, worse than you were a season ago. I just need to see them do it in a game of this magnitude. I need to see them do it in a game against an opponent of this caliber of quality, if you will. Like, I need to see it in a game like this. Beating Southern Miss is great. That's awesome, right? This is a different test. This is a different challenge. Now, you get them at home at night. Like I mentioned, I believe that Mississippi State fans are going to show up. The cowbells are going to be ringing all night long. I think they're going to make their presence felt, and I think that might lead to some uncharacteristic mistakes, some turnovers, some other things for Sam Leavitt and this Arizona State offense. But there's still, Bear, at this point, just more things I trust about Arizona State. As much as I like Blake Shapen, I give Arizona State the nod at the quarterback position with Sam Leavitt. I'm taking Sam Leavitt over Blake Shapen, obviously. I love the 1-2 punch of Devon Booth, Fluff Bothwell. Hell, I'm siding with Kenny Dillingham over Jeff Lebby in this football game. I'm being totally honest. I'm giving them the coaching edge in this game as well. Like we mentioned, Bear, Mississippi State is going to have to score to win. This is not going to be a low-scoring game, over 50.5. Until Mississippi State shows me they're playing some other brand of defense, overs in Mississippi State games, probably going to be some of my favorite plays, even though I didn't bet it in week 1. Probably going to be some of my favorite plays to roll with until I see differently. I do think this is a close game down to the wire, Bear. I think Mississippi State is going to give Arizona State, hell, more than a scare. Like, I think they're going to have a chance to win this football game late, but I do think it is Arizona State holding on the road, high-scoring, fun, entertaining game. Mississippi State, you're getting closer. You are. You're getting closer. I just don't know that you're quite there yet where I can kind of go all in and pick this. I want to. It's enticing. It's a sexy upset pick. I think you're going to see some folks across the college football landscape Bear pick this. But I got to go with the more knowns, and I got to go with the thing I trust. And again, I just don't trust Mississippi State in a game like this to get the big stop that you inevitably need late in a game like this. Give me Sun Devils 30, Mississippi State 27 in a game that, again, I think does come down to the wire. I think this is a one-score game, hence why I wouldn't touch the 6.5. If I can get it at 7 or certainly 7.5, I'll go Mississippi State on it. But I do love the over. I think it's a back and forth because I think, again, Mississippi State, they're going to have to score. And I think Arizona State against the Mississippi State defense still has a lot of questions. They're going to be able to move the football effectively. So back and forth game, fun game. I don't think Hail State can get that late stop they need. And I think Arizona State wins this game because of that 30-27 Sun Devils Saturday night and Starkville. But I do agree with you. I think Mississippi State's going to show us something. I do think they're going to show up. I think you're going to be able to watch them and say, hey, this team is definitely improved from a season ago. Just don't know that you're quite there yet to go out and win a game like this. So
you don't accept moral victories ever in the SEC. But when you're a program like Mississippi State that went 2-10 last year with the worst defense I've ever seen in conference play, if you lose by 3, that is actually a win in a lot of different factors. Even though we're not going to say it's a win, and I'm never going to accept it as a win, it quietly is a win.
It's a sign you're moving in the right direction, which I think at this point for Mississippi State, you would take that. So, guys, we're both going Arizona State. Would love to hear your thoughts, your reactions. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? Mississippi State or Arizona State Saturday night down in Starkville. Guys, that's going to do all for us. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in before we get out of here. Do want to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel because, as always, we are brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel is getting you ready for the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season's almost here. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/SECU to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/SECU to get in on the action today. Guys, once again, that's going to do all for us. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast where we get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. Till next time, for Cole the Bear Thompson, I'm Chris Phillips. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will catch you all on the other side.